Coming up now is another sparkling Two Mics podcast.
This is Talk Sport Extra Time. I'm Mike Graham, and it's time to say a very warm welcome to Mr. Mike Porky Parry on this terrible, terrible night of rain and wind and gloom. Very good morning to you, Mr. Parry.
Yeah, good morning to you, Mike. It is horrendous weather. It was bad when I was making my way up from Stockbroke of Old Surrey.
Yes.
But it's even worse now. I've just gone outside for some respiratory air at the back of the building.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, I do that as well.
Sorry, what are you laughing at?
Well, I go outside for some respiratory air as well.
No, you go out for a cigarette.
I do, yeah.
You go out to fill your lungs full of tar and gunge and, you know, stuff that will curtail your life by 15 years. I go out literally for a respiratory breath of fresh air.
Hoping to increase your life by 15 years.
Exactly, not being a smoker myself, and I suddenly find that it is biblical weather.
It's like a monsoon out there, yeah.
It's like a monsoon
Horrible.
pouring down from the heavens. Thank God I've got a decent car to get home in, not something that's going to break down on the way with worn-out tyres or anything like that.
I haven't got worn-out tyres.
No.
Unfortunately, I'm high enough up on the road as
Yeah.
well to miss out on all the puddles, you see.
Excellent,
Which
yeah,
is
well,
very good
that's
indeed.
what I like to hear. Listen, the first thing about Manchester United and all that is this Zen guy, right? Now, this is Nutsville. This holds them up to ridicule.
The Zen Master.
Zen Master,
Yeah.
I mean, it just holds you up to ridicule when you see pictures of this guy, you know, doing his Thai boxing and all that. What's that got to do with football in the Premier League in this country?
Well, he reckons it's all about the mind, doesn't he? That's what he says.
Well, a lot of it is about the mind, but a lot of it's gobbledygook. There's a column written every week on a Monday in a national newspaper, right? And it's it's written by a woman who calls herself a lifestyle guru.
Oh, yeah.
Now listen to all this load of gobbledygook. Any new changes or ventures in life will wither on the vine if the motivation behind them is somehow brutal or punitive. You have really got to want your goals, dreams and ambitions more than you care about the pain and discomfort it takes to get them. If you can build in fun and reward along the way, you have a formula for success. But beating yourself up, feeling shame, or the I'm a loser syndrome, self-talk, or a recipe, I mean, it's all rubbish.
Yeah.
It's all complete
Well, have a listen-
nonsense.
have a
And
listen to this guy.
the same thing is printed every week.
Well, this guy, Master Sken, as he's known, right?
Master Sken.
Master Sken, according to his own website, he arrived in England in 1977, got his first job as a nightclub bouncer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It says there were many real-life incidents that kept him sharp, which allowed him to demonstrate beyond the shadow of a doubt that the diminutive and soft-spoken young man could hold his own very well against multiple attackers, armed and unarmed.
So
maybe he's going to teach them all, you know, how to arm themselves, you know,
well,
with
actually, that's
hand-to-hand
saying
combat.
that he's an expert in unarmed combat.
Well, he is, yeah.
What's that got to do with footballers?
Well, he's a Zen master.
I mean, I've seen a picture of him, and I heard you talking on the way in. You're talking about Bruce Lee and Kung Fu, but at least Bruce Lee was a master of the art of whatever it was, karate or something.
Yeah.
That wasn't karate,
It was Kung Fu.
Kung Fu, yeah, well, that's a form of karate, isn't it?
Well, he kind of invented it, didn't he, Bruce Lee?
Excuse me,
You're right.
what?
You still got the cough, I see.
Still got the cough.
So the germs are still not
Well, I'm still
leaving your
fighting
body.
it. Still fighting it. Still fighting my campaign in the pubs of Surrey.
Yeah, how did that go, by the way? A lot of people on Twitter have
Goes
been
very
asking
well.
whether you were into
It
any
goes
pubs,
very well.
whether you reported any pubs.
I have
don't
reported,
need to name
yeah.
them, obviously.
Well,
but,
I had confrontation in two pubs, and on both occasions they gave in and produced soap. You know, instantly.
Oh, did they?
Instantly. In my car, because I wasn't drinking in these pubs. I hope you realise that. I didn't go in these pubs to drink.
No, it wasn't just some kind of superannuated pub crawl.
I'd been to Poundland and bought a 5 for £5.
Where had you been?
To Poundland.
Poundland?
Yeah.
Where's Poundland? Is it near Poundland?
Well, that's what it is. That's where they sell everything for £1.
Yeah.
And
Poundland.
I got in there and bought 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
5, excuse me.
Soap dispensers.
Soap dispensers.
Yeah.
And I had to spare one in my pocket in every pub I went into. So if they didn't have any soap, I was going to shame them by presenting it on the counter,
Right.
on the bar, as
Right.
it is, in front of all the other drinkers. And saying, this is for your bathroom, because having any soap in it, you're spreading millions of germs. That
Yeah.
is against the law. You're putting the health and the well-being of your customers at risk. Don't do it. And get real and start fighting back against
And how did they react to this onslaught from you?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
I was.
Did you get thrown out of any place?
No.
then?
I was pretty impressive. I was forceful and determined and accurate in my view of what was going
Really?
wrong.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you didn't have to report anybody by the sounds of it?
Well, I mean, I made it absolutely clear I would if they didn't do
Yeah,
something.
okay.
And one of them
Well, that's a
accepted
good result,
one of
then,
my
because
soap
you don't want to
dispensers,
put anybody out of business, do you?
No, absolutely.
And what about what you were drinking in these hostelries then?
Just half a pint.
You said you weren't drinking.
I wasn't drinking. A half pint of shandy, actually, in one. In
Right.
one, I just
So you
had
went
a
to
glass of
5
shandy.
pubs?
No, I didn't go to 5 pubs.
You said you went to 5 pubs.
No, I said I've been to 5 pubs since my campaign started.
Okay, right.
I didn't go to 5 pubs in one day.
Oh, I see, right.
I don't do that sort of thing.
So your definition of not drinking is half a pint of shandy?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. What's your definition of not drinking?
Well, not drinking anything at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't happen to you, does it? That's not the real world. Getting back to this lifestyle guru, right?
Yeah.
She also says, talk to yourself as you would talk to a best friend, not your worst enemy. Be gentle, supportive, and offer solutions, not punishments. Show compassion and forgive yourself. When has stressing about a mistake made it better? Well, stressing about a mistake does make it better all the time, because it drives you to try and correct the mistake.
Well, you've worked probably with lots of people who don't stress over making mistakes, and they keep making the same mistake over and over again. It doesn't seem to bother them.
Yeah, talking about mistakes, by the way, right? The old roof garden.
Oh, yeah.
So,
how's that going?
Well,
a lot of updates to be had this
all
morning.
the
They won't be working in this weather, will they?
All the scaffolding's up along the side of the building,
Right.
you know, and then this morning the materials arrived.
Oh, yeah.
Loads of felt and
Cherry
that sort of
picker's
stuff.
still there. It's been there for weeks
Cherry
now.
picker in the back there, and the
It's
felt
supposed to be costing a fortune.
Well, you know, the felt arrives and the tiles arrive, right? These are Italian tiles,
Yeah.
okay? You know, slate grey.
Right.
Very, very smart indeed.
Very nice.
Just as
Are they
about...
big? They're big tiles. They're sort of 6-inch square or foot
Yeah,
square or something.
no,
like that?
they're about 6x4, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And just as they're about to get started, they get a phone call from a lawyer who's saying we haven't cleared all the legal issues on the work that needs doing on this building.
So I told you, didn't I? I said to you, you're going to have to get permission from the people downstairs in order to do all
It's
this
nothing
stuff.
to do with that. It's something to do with the landlords of the building and of the plot, which I can't understand because I'm part of the freehold. So I don't know. Anyway,
Well, so obviously what you say doesn't go then. Because that's what you said. You said basically if anything was amiss in the building, you would go down and sort it all out, and it would be done.
Yeah, but it's...
Well, so clearly you've now reached some kind of legal hurdle.
It's become a legal complexity now, and it's all... But anyway, look, the good news is...
It's not going to be ready in time for the spring, this, is it? Let's face it.
It'll be ready by the end of this week.
I don't
Otherwise,
think so.
there'll be other teams of lawyers involved.
When was the last time you had a legal dispute that was solved in a couple of days? It's never going to happen.
No, you're absolutely right.
Once the
Probably
lawyers
never.
get involved,
Probably
you'll
never.
have to get a lawyer,
Yeah.
and it will go on and on for years.
It could
You'll have
do.
scaffolding up there for years.
Well, it's not
Place
going to happen.
will look even
Believe
worse than
me.
it already does.
I'll rip it down myself first, and I will. Now then, the good news is
Right.
I won in the meat raffle again.
Oh, what is this now, a regular
fact,
once-a-week thing?
No, I just happened to be passing that place, right?
yeah.
And I thought,
The same place you won the sausages?
yeah. And I thought I was lucky there last week, so I went in and look. What did that say? What do they say?
It says 156, 157, 158.
For the benefit of our listeners, these are 3 white raffle tickets,
Yeah.
okay? So I
For
just...
which you paid, what, £2 a piece?
£2 a piece.
Yeah.
So that's £6.
Yeah.
Guess what?
So what did you win this time?
You see, this is the point. Now, last time I spent £10
Yeah.
and I got a packet of sausages,
Yeah.
which I presented to you.
Yes, which
How
I
were-
gave back
how were
to
they,
you.
by
No,
the
I
way?
didn't eat them. I gave them back to you.
Yeah, well, see,
I don't want to eat them. I'm not in the business of eating
I think that was
meat.
very nice.
Well, maybe not, but I'm not going to eat meat. I don't know where it's come from.
Well, hang on. It's from a very reputable
Well, so you say.
butcher. Well, I know it is. I know the shop involved.
How do you know?
And they're wrapped in cling film and all that.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because I passed the shop and I've bought stuff there before. It's very reputable.
I'm sorry. I would not. As much as it was a very nice gesture of yours, unusually, it's not something that I would wish to partake of.
Anyway,
I don't want whatever you've won this week either.
Well, you're not going to get it, and I'll tell you why.
Well, go on.
Right, £10 for some sausages.
Yeah.
In fact, I think there was... How many sausages were there? There were 12. 12 sausages.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you might think that's quite expensive.
It is quite expensive.
That works out to about £1.20p a sausage.
Yes, that's a lot of money.
That's quite expensive.
Because you wouldn't pay £6 for half a dozen sausages, would you?
No, you probably wouldn't, no. But they're good sausages. But only £6 this week, 3 tickets. Guess what I have won?
I don't know. What did you win? A side of beef?
A shoulder of lamb.
A shoulder of lamb?
I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Very nice.
How much does a shoulder of lamb cost?
Well, it depends.
20 quid?
Probably, yeah. You can get it on
Wow.
sale sometimes for
Wow.
10.
Wow,
Depends
wow,
where it's
wow,
from. Is it New Zealand lamb?
I don't know. I hope it's English lamb or Welsh lamb, but I'm not sure. But
Well, when are you going to take delivery of this shoulder of lamb?
tomorrow, I go pick it up tomorrow.
Really?
And I mean, a shoulder of lamb like that, I can do.
How would you cook that?
Well, you cook it in the oven.
Well, you do, yeah.
Yeah,
What would you do with it?
Hey,
What would you do with it? What
What
are
do
you
you
going to do? Just chuck it in the oven, that's it?
what else would you do with a shoulder of lamb?
Well, you want to put nice things in. You can put some rosemary in it, some garlic.
I don't like garlic. I don't
put
like
some
garlic.
oil on it.
I can't stand
You're just
garlic.
going to put it in there on its
People
own?
who eat garlic are, what's the word? There's something wrong with them. If you want to eat garlic...
Sophisticated.
No, you want to eat garlic and then go mixing company, it's the most antisocial thing you can do.
Well, you eat curry, don't you?
I don't eat curry. I don't eat curry. When did I last eat curry?
Well, you and I used to go for regular curries.
Well, we don't anymore because
we haven't been for one for a while.
I've clamped down on that.
Chinese food.
Chinese,
well, do you think there's no garlic in Chinese food?
There's no garlic in the Chinese food I eat. I have it garlic free. No, I do.
How can you tell there's no garlic in Chinese food?
Because I tell the guys who cook it for me, don't put any garlic in that food.
And they just go, yeah, sure, okay, no
yes,
problem.
that's right. They do.
Yeah,
They do. Yeah. I'm talking about.
Well, what about cooking it in a nice kind of wine or something like that?
No. Talking about the lamb, now, it reminded me that you told me that if you cook it and cook it and cook it and cook it, it then becomes pulled lamb, OK?
Well, it's not quite as simple as that.
Lamb, you tell me it's more tender and nicer to eat.
Well, if you cook it very, very slowly.
So I'm going to try and do that.
Well, you're going to cook it really slowly.
Might cook it slowly, yeah.
Well, I'll look up a recipe for you. I don't want you to set the house on fire.
A lamb shoulder, to my memory, can last about a week.
You're not thinking of a leg of lamb, are you?
I'm thinking of a shoulder of lamb.
Yeah.
That's what he said I've won.
A leg of lamb is the kind of thing that you would normally...
I think he said a shoulder of lamb. What's the difference between a shoulder of lamb and a leg of lamb?
Well, a leg is the thing they stand on.
No,
and a
I
shoulder
know that,
is the thing that's up near the top of their head.
I'm talking about the quality of the meat that's involved.
Well, the shoulder's generally not as nice as a leg, I would say.
You're joking?
Yeah, so you might have to... What I would have them do...
Oh, that's no good. I thought it was the best cut.
Well, no, what I would have them do is take it off the bone, and then you can do any number of things with it. You can do anything you like.
How'd you take it off the bone?
Well, you cut it off the bone,
yeah,
but you wouldn't
want to do that. Not when it's uncooked.
Well, no, but they'll do it for you if it's a decent butcher.
No, the butcher's already given it to the raffle in the pub, and I go and pick it up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll look up a shoulder of lamb recipe for you.
Okay,
we'll find out what we can do.
Okay, that's good. Because there are a few... There are a few...
We've seen the time, by the way.
There's a few food issues.
Even I haven't seen the time. Look at the time.
Few food issues we've got to talk about.
Yeah, we've got lots to talk about. Look into the light. Have a bit more of a coughing fit. We are the two mics. This is Talk Sport.
Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as hoes. Yeah, but maybe.
This is Talk Sport Extra Time. We are the two mics, Mr. Mike Parry and myself.
So did you pick up episode 2?
Eh? Episode 2 of what?
Broadchurch, of course.
No, it was on last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't watch TV the night before I come into work. I haven't got time to do that because I'm too busy doing other stuff.
Like what?
Well, like, researching for the show.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sleeping.
No, usually cooking curries and things.
Well,
that's
cooking,
what you spend all day doing.
Yeah, I do. No, I don't spend all day cooking, but I do eat well, so
anyway,
I like to cook.
I'm right on top of the Broadchurch game, right?
Good.
But
we do Porky Vision later in the week, so you don't want to give away too much now. There'll be loads of people listening who haven't seen it yet.
Also, I want to point out that I'm not going to reveal what happened in episode 2 just yet.
Oh, good.
Because other people might want to pick it up on their Sky Box.
Yeah, so you finally worked that one out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
But listen, I'll tell you what does happen. This is...
I thought you said you weren't going to tell us.
I'm not going to tell you what happens in the show. I'm going to tell you what happens at the location where it's made. Now, it's not made in a place called Broadchurch, because Broadchurch doesn't exist.
No, it's made in a place called West Bay.
West Bay. And West Bay.
Have you been there?
Down in Dorset. No, I haven't.
I was there, actually, last summer.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Now, they've got spectacular cliffs there,
Incredible,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Now, the problem is that since it went on telly, people are now going around sitting on top of these cliffs, having their pictures taken.
Right.
And the local Coast Guard has warned somebody's going to kill themselves.
Yeah, because all those cliffs in Dorset are part of the Jurassic Coast, as they call it.
They're crumbling.
And they are crumbling in a huge way. In fact, there was just further down the road, or further along the coastline, if you like, there was a massive sort of incident, wasn't there, where a load of the cliff just fell down.
Well, even in Broadchurch, there's a pile of rock on the beach, isn't there?
Is there a place called Broadchurch, then?
No, you know what I mean, you idiot.
No, I'm genuinely asking you. I wasn't sure if there was.
Of course, there's not a place called Broadchurch. It's fictional. It's what did you call it?
West Bay.
West Bay. It's West Bay. But even in the filming of Broadchurch at West Bay, there's a pile of rubble on the beach, isn't there, where it's come down from the cliff because it's crumbling. So
but they haven't made that up. That's there.
That's there. That's what I'm saying. So that's actually categorical evidence that that it's happening. And it seems to me mad that people are going up there, sitting on the edge, when the cliff will collapse and they'll all die. Have you ever fallen off a cliff? No, I mean.
Well, obviously, no.
No,
I've never fallen off a cliff.
Well,
you
could
idiot.
have done. You could have done.
Now, if I'd fallen off a cliff, I wouldn't be here, would I?
People can survive falling off cliffs.
Well, not really.
I fell off a cliff once in.
Well, that explains a lot.
No. And I was with. I tell you, I was with old NRP.
Oh, were you?
Nick Rostron Pike. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah, of course it is.
What were you doing with him?
Yeah.
What were you doing with him up a cliff?
Because we were in Rome and we were trying to get to the Champions League final.
When in Rome,
in the Olympic
go
Stadium.
climbing cliffs.
No, what happened was we were walking up to the stadium, right, and
the Olympic Stadium, is that?
The Olympic Stadium in Rome, and it's where Manchester United were playing Barcelona.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first one they lost, not the one at Wembley, which is 2 or 3 years later. And
well, don't rub it in. We're already having enough trouble with Man United
Messi scored a header that night.
Did he?
Believe it or not? Yeah, he scored one of the goals with his head.
Did you see his purple jacket last night?
I saw his
the Ballon
purple
d'Or.
jacket. He always wears that.
Yeah,
doesn't
he does.
Anyway, so we're walking up, and all of a sudden, all these armed cops come forward and say you can't go any further. And we said, why not?
Well, why weren't you walking along the road like everybody else?
We were walking along the road.
Oh, right.
We were walking along the road. And they said you can't go any further because Sepp Blatter's arriving.
Oh, yeah.
He's the honoured guest. We've had to put the red carpet on the road, not just the pavement where he gets out the car, but on the road.
Nothing's too good for Sepp Blatter.
So his car comes across red carpet. And
that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They don't even do that for the Queen.
And they closed off the whole of the road, and they said, you've got to just have a diversion just round the back of the stadium here.
Right.
So we said, well, and this was not just me and Nick, there were a load of fans, you know. To get to a seat that was about 30 yards away, they said, you've got to go round the back and come back in. I said, OK. So we went round the back and we started walking up a hill.
Right.
And
was this with everybody else as well?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And we're walking up this hill, and it, you know, whatever was going on, the stadium was down there, getting further away, and we were going up this hill.
Right.
I don't know why we were going
You
up
must
this
have taken
hill.
a wrong turn.
No, we didn't take a wrong turn. We were directed that way by the police, you know. So we keep going up this hill, and we get right up this hill. And I'm thinking, hang on, we're going to miss the kick-off. I don't know what's going on here. And all these people training behind us, a lot of them were...
well, they were following you, because maybe they thought you were going the right way.
Maybe, but a lot of them were Spanish who supported Barcelona, you know. And then, anyway, I said, look, this is ridiculous. We weren't then allowed to go back because the police said that it was a one-way street, OK? Right. You could only keep going up.
Yeah.
It was ludicrous, and we could actually...
So was it still actually a road you were on? Or
it was a road, yeah, but we were looking down into the stadium from, like, miles up. So I said, look, we'll have to just do something here. We're going to say. So I climbed over the fence. This is like a mountain road, OK? And I said, we better go down this way. And Nick said, oh, it's too dangerous.
Was he carrying, like, equipment and stuff with him?
No. We'd done all that. We were just going into the game. And Nick said, well, you know, it looks a bit dangerous. I said, it's not dangerous. Come on, don't be weak-willed. And I climbed over the fence, and then I fell down the cliff. I literally rolled
Drink
over.
hadn't been taken at this point,
No, it hadn't. No drink had been taken.
Well, it couldn't have been a cliff, though.
It was a cliff.
I mean, it was a steep hill by the sound of it.
No, it was a cliff.
Well, there were rocks.
Well, it was like a soil cliff. It was a soil cliff.
A soil cliff?
Right, yeah.
Well, that's not a cliff.
It is a cliff.
A cliff has got rocks in it.
No, cliffs have...
That is made of rock.
No, it was like a soil cliff. So I go tumbling down.
What's that, Wycliffe?
Eh?
What about Wycliffe?
Wycliffe, where's
Wycliffe.
that?
That's a show that you like, isn't it?
Oh, Wycliffe, that's right. That's the Cornish thing, isn't it? Yeah. No, I went rolling down, and I'm not joking, my face got bruised. I had scratches on my knees and my elbows, scrapes all over my body, a bruised eye, and I was covered in soil.
Soil?
Yeah, no, I was. Honestly, when I turned up at the gate to the stadium, they nearly didn't let me in because they said I was down and out. You know,
I'm not surprised.
I looked like one.
And was Nick following close behind you then?
Well, no, he came back down the road somehow. He found a road to come down, you know, and got there. But I mean, it was. I don't know why you're laughing at it.
Because it's a very funny story, but it's not a cliff.
It was a cliff. Honest to God, you ask Nick next time you see him. It was a blinking cliff.
I will.
And I could have been killed, to be honest. And that was my desperation to, you know, once again put all aside and make sure we got the job done. You see what I mean? But all I'm saying is it's very, very silly for those people to sit on top of that.
Well, it is very silly.
Broadchurch
now,
cliff.
never mind all that. I've found you a great recipe here for your shoulder of lamb. Now, here's what you're going to need. Okay?
Oh yeah, go on.
This is for a 2 kilogram quality shoulder of lamb. Now, I don't know whether it's quality, and I don't know how much it weighs. So, do you have any idea how much it weighs? It doesn't tell you.
Yeah, it must be pretty standard weight, a shoulder of lamb, I would think.
Well, it could be a big sheep. Might have a heavier shoulder than any
about
other.
The same size sheep.
All right.
Anyway, go on.
Well, you're going to need 500 grams of greens, such as white cabbage, Savoy cabbage, Brussels tops, or Cavallo Nero, which you separate the leaves and the stalks are finely chopped. You need some fresh rosemary, as I suggested, some olive oil, some sea salt, freshly ground black pepper, 1 bulb of garlic. I suppose you could leave that out.
Yeah.
And then you eat it with some smashed vegetables, which are made up of potatoes, carrots, swede.
Sounds good.
And then you make a sauce out of organic chicken or vegetable stock, 2 heaped tablespoons of capers, soaked, drained and chopped, and then 1 large bunch of fresh mint and some red wine vinegar.
Sounds brilliant to me.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, sounds excellent. And some mint sauce as well, of course.
You can have that, yeah. Slash the fat side of the lamb all over with a sharp knife. Lay half the sprigs of rosemary and half the garlic cloves on the bottom of a high-sided roasting tray. Rub the lamb all over with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. Place it in a tray on top of the rosemary and garlic and put the rest of the rosemary and garlic on top of the lamb. And so you cook it for about 4 hours. You've got gas, right?
4 hours, yeah.
Gas Mark 3.
4 hours, that's a long time.
And it says if it's done, you can pull the meat apart easily with 2 forks, so it'll be like pulled lamb. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
I'll send you this recipe.
Yeah, send me the recipe and I'll get down to it.
You should take pictures of it as you're doing it.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Well, I could, but I don't think anybody interested in me cooking lamb. I mean, I don't know why.
I think everybody would be.
I don't know why you seem to think that the audience take, great delight in seeing
people
the
love
results of your
People
culinary...
love seeing my culinary triumphs because they are not only that, but
triumphs?
they ask me...
your culinary messing you around.
No, they ask me...
They never look like anything. They just look like a mess.
No, it doesn't.
They do. Multicoloured mess. It's
Absolute
yellow.
rubbish.
And red and all sorts of strange coloured food and
yellow and red.
Yeah,
strange coloured.
Yes, and it doesn't look like it doesn't look like any sort of food.
Funny you should say that because sometimes when it's red, it means it's got tomatoes in it, which is one of your favourite foods, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you're having a quiz on tomatoes later on in the week.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that the quiz this week?
Yeah, the quiz is currently being compiled.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all right. That suits me.
So red is not an odd colour for food to be.
Well, no, it's not. But in a curry, it is because you don't really have a lot of red things in a curry.
Yeah, you do. The red peppers you put in them.
I don't like peppers. They're too what's the word? Hot, I suppose, is the word for.
Well, they're not
peppers.
always hot.
Well, they are usually. There's green peppers and red peppers. Which are the hotter?
They're not hot at all. Neither pepper is hot.
Well,
you think you're confusing them with chilies?
No.
Yes, you are.
Well, why would you put peppers in anything then?
Well, because you put peppers in things because of the flavour of peppers. They don't make them spicy.
No, the only sort of pepper that's worth having is coarse ground black pepper.
Well, you told me you had loads of different forms of that.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
You like 5 different pepper
bills.
Yeah,
I do. I like all that. But the actual chopping up of the green and the red peppers doesn't do you any favours at all. Now, look, talking about
you won't be able to get anywhere near your kitchen for all the people staggering about inside your house, because not only are you now going to have the place full of workmen who you won't be able to keep out because of the rain, you're going to have lawyers crawling all over the place as well. There will be a million lawyers all over you.
No workman is
like
coming...
a bad suit, as we used to say.
No workman is coming in my house. They all work
Well, you'll
from
have to let the lawyers in, though.
Well, I'll have to go and see the lawyers, I think, and get them to sort it all out because it's getting on my nerves. It does get on your nerves when.
Oh, it's very depressing.
You've
seen the time, by the way.
Property ownership can be a right pain.
I know it can.
And I wonder sometimes whether I shouldn't just flog it all and go and rent somewhere.
Yeah,
and then
I think
anything goes wrong, it's somebody else's problem, not mine.
Exactly.
And then I could spend all my money and live a life of Riley.
Yeah, you could.
I could. I'd go and stay in 6-star hotels at the weekend in London for a bit of a laugh.
Or you could be like Elizabeth Taylor and just live in a hotel.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, why not? Until the money runs out.
Yeah, until the money runs out.
I bet you the money will last longer than my heart.
Well, the time's going to run out before the money runs out.
Yeah.
So just look into the light for a moment. We are the two mics. This is Talk Sport. We've got loads more coming up next.
Yeah, good idea.
Talk Sport Extra Time. I'm Mike Graham. He's Mike Parry. We are the two Mikes. There will be a podcast coming out a little bit later on this morning. I have actually just tweeted out as well, Mike, I should say, an update on our Birmingham appearance, March 6th, Birmingham Repertory Theatre. We're putting out a little video to help people find where they can go and buy tickets, and just tweet it out. So go look at the two Mikes and at IROMG, and I'm sure Mike Parry 8 will be retweeting it out very shortly.
Absolutely, and is that about the Peaky Blinders?
It's the one about the Peaky Blinders. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine, that's good.
Another show you basically ruined for thousands of people.
No, I didn't. No.
Now, Graham, the professor in Mexico, has tweeted this: a steep rock face. This is his description of a cliff. A steep rock face, especially at the edge of the sea.
Yes.
So it has to have rock in it, I think.
Yeah, well, it had bits of rock in it, because otherwise I wouldn't have got battered and bruised, would I? And it scraped all my legs.
Well, you might have gone through a few bushes or something.
No. These were rocks, all right, but it was mostly when a cliff crumbles, it's rock and soil on the edge of it that crumbles, and that's exactly what happened to me.
Especially if it's limestone.
That's right. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
And believe me, it was a horrendous experience. I feared for myself. Now then, listen, I need to tell you about a crisis that's coming up.
Now, you've come across another crisis, haven't you?
Yeah, I've touched on it already, but you didn't seem to take it too seriously. But it's getting worse by the day.
All right, go on.
We are running out of milk. There's going to be a
We're
milk...
not running out of milk at all.
We are. There's going to be a milk shortage in this country because it is now so...
There's a glut of milk, that's the reason.
So uneconomic to produce milk.
But the reason for that is because...
farmers are producing it for less than they can sell it for.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
It's now cheaper than water. It's cheaper than water, OK?
Well, everything's cheaper than water. I mean, the problem for me, whenever people say things like you can actually buy alcohol now, which is cheaper than water, that's because water's ridiculously expensive.
How much do you think a pint of milk costs now?
47p.
No, 22p.
No.
22p.
Really?
I'm telling you, 22p.
Are you sure?
No, you didn't know that, you see. You thought it was more than double that price, OK? So it's 22p. Dairy farmers quitting...
Is that the wholesale price you're talking about?
Let me have a look. No, supermarkets are now selling milk for as cheap as 22p.
Really?
What,
for a pint?
For a pint, yeah. That's right, yeah. Now, dairy farmers quitting at the rate of 60 a month. The costs exceed the prices paid by the processors. And the milk industry is going to hell in a handcart, basically.
Well, yeah, the problem is that there's too much milk on the market, right? So you know what happens because you know about economics.
Yeah.
You're a student of economics,
of course
aren't you? Particularly trickle-down economics, which is what milk is all about.
Yeah.
And in the end, what's happening is there's too much milk on the market, so the supermarkets are reducing the amount they're paying for it because they don't need to, because they can get it from almost anywhere now.
Yeah.
And so in the end, it's going to drive the price down.
Yeah, but I'm saying we could all starve to death because...
Well, how?
Well, because the number of dairy farms in England and Wales has halved in the last 10 years. There's only 10,000 left, OK?
Right.
That will halve again before 2020, right? Now, when you start getting rid of farms, you're not just getting rid of milk-producing cows, you're getting rid of animals altogether. I've already told you repeatedly about the shortage of shepherds, which means that there won't be a lot of cows around soon.
Sheep,
Or
you mean?
sheep, that's right, yeah.
The shepherds has got nothing to do with the cows.
No, that's right, that's sheep. Yeah. And that in itself could be...
What do you call somebody who looks after dairy cattle, actually? A cow hand?
No, a farmer.
Well, a farmer, yeah, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, specifically a person like a shepherd. I mean, a farmer is somebody who looks after sheep as well, but a shepherd specifically looks after sheep. So a farmer would employ a shepherd. So what would you call...
I wonder why we don't call them cowboys in this country.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what they call them in Texas.
Yeah. Herd, we could call them.
We call our farms ranches in Texas. That's a famous quote from J.R. Ewing.
Is it?
The man upon whom I base my life.
Yes, of course.
Now then... milk in 4-pint bottles is cheaper than the average price of packs of bottled water, OK?
Yeah.
And that's come from the Grocer magazine.
Yeah.
I researched all this afternoon.
I once applied for a job with them.
Oh, you didn't get it?
No.
Oh, that's not surprising.
Well, I think it was the editor's job.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was one of those, trade magazines that I applied for a lot of jobs with when I was much younger.
The Cobbler was the one
The
that you
Shoe and
didn't
Leather News.
Shoe and Leather News, yeah. You didn't get the job there.
I applied for a job with the Grocer as well.
Yeah, did you? What did you know about groceries?
Nothing.
Well, exactly.
I didn't know much about shoes either.
No,
I just wanted a job in journalism. I thought that might be a good way in.
Exactly. Just imagine if you'd managed to fool them into giving you the job as editor of the Grocer.
Yeah.
What would you have done then? And today's report is on cauliflowers.
Can you imagine how boring it would have been?
Exactly.
It would have been hideously boring.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things my mother used to relentlessly make fun of me actually, because the day I went for the interview, the Shoe and Leather News, I actually had a hole in my shoe.
Really?
Because I was 20.
That was the name of a record made by.
What, a hole in my shoe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Traffic.
Was it?
Stevie Winwood.
Oh,
and all that I knew was the hole in my shoe, which was letting in water.
Oh, yeah, I know that song. Was that from the Low Spark of High Heel Boys, that album?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know it was a record by Traffic. But actually, you're absolutely right. Being, the editor of the Grocer, now the perks of being the editor of any sort of trade magazine is you get to visit the places that you're writing about.
Yeah, right.
So you'd have had a visit to some factory where they make cabbages and some, you know what I mean? And
factory where they make cabbages.
You know what I'm talking about, processing
you
cabbages.
You mean like a farm?
Like a farm or something like that, yeah. Or you'd have got invited...
Well, no, you'd have gone to these endless conventions where, people that run grocery shops go and kind of, hang out.
No, that's right. And you'd have gone to some massive, great, sort of warehouse with 2.5 million packets of crunchy cornflakes in it or something like that. Now then, the job to have got, and I actually half thought about applying for this towards the sort of, in everybody's career, there's a sort of watershed in the middle.
Yeah.
Where you sort of, and, our watershed was sort of disappearing from newspapers, coming into radio.
Yeah, yeah.
Round about that time, I saw an advert for the editor of the Licensed Victualler.
Oh.
And I thought...
Licensed Vintner, you mean?
No, Victualler. It was called the Licensed Victualler.
Victualler? What's that?
Well, it's licensed victuals, isn't it?
What's victuals?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, it's a pub paper.
I thought that's during vintner, you mean, don't you?
No, I'm sure I mean victular. But anyway, it was a pub. There was a pub paper, and there was another one, wasn't there, around in there? What was the most famous pub paper? I
actually applied to get a job at the Camera magazine as well, which is a campaign for real ale.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that one, but it was something to do with pubs. It was. Yeah. It was the Pub Weekly or something, or
maybe,
Pub Daily,
yeah.
or the
something like that.
No, the Publican.
The Publican,
it was called the Publican. That's right. It was called the Publican.
That would have been good for you, but actually, it wouldn't have been good for you.
I thought this would be a brilliant job.
No, because you'd have spent your whole life in pubs.
Of course, I would, because if you had to spend time in the places where you get all the stories, and the stories are about publicans, you'll find publicans in pubs.
I've just been told, breaking news. Actually, you're correct. Victular is apparently the name of the person who obtains a licence for the serving of food and drink in a pub.
Thank you.
Well, I've never heard that word.
So, for the first time ever, when you think you're putting me on the spot again about the use of the English language, you actually got it completely wrong.
I've never heard it.
Completely wrong. David.
Do you know the origin of the word?
No.
For an extra point?
No.
Oh, no, we're not actually doing any points. Apparently, it comes from a ship. It was the guy on the ship that provided food and drink on a ship.
I knew that. I kind of knew that. It was at the back of my mind.
Given your merchant navy background, I thought you would have known that one.
My very good friend from Paris, David Genoleur, pointed out to me...
How is David?
He's very well, thank you.
When was the last time you spoke to him?
I don't go into those sort of things. You know, it's a breach of privacy. But the best-selling book I wrote about Alan Brazil, you know, best-selling books are things that you've never written, never even had published.
No,
you know,
well, you mean the ones that sell for a penny on eBay?
No. This was the Alan Brazil one. There's an awful lot of Bubbly in Brazil. On the front cover, the publishers put Alan Brazil, the most famous, you know, ex-footballer and a bon viveur.
Yes.
But in fact... It
should have said bon vivant.
That's right, exactly. That's what David pointed out to me. You know, so the use of words when referring to matters alcoholic can be quite tricky.
They can be, yeah.
But I got it right. Like
you did.
Picture.
Well, I've learned a new word, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah,
I always like to learn new words.
Exactly. So that would have been a great job to have had because you would have spent all your time in pubs.
The number. I have to go because I've actually got a file of all the rejection letters that I got. So
I'd love to see that sometime. Yeah.
And but I also applied to work for a couple of music magazines and a hi-fi magazine because I thought, like you, when I was about 20, I thought it would be great to work for one of these hi-fi magazines because you just get all
free hi-fis,
free stereos and stuff. You know, tremendous. Yeah. But the camera job was funny because they were based in St Albans, and I had to go up. And in those days, I didn't drive or anything.
Right.
And I had to go and meet this guy, and he was the absolute epitome of what you might expect the guy who runs Cameras Real Ale magazine is. You know, had a beard. Yeah. You know, quite a bushy beard. He wore like a sports jacket,
sandals.
Took me to the pub.
Right.
Where we got completely bladdered on old Theakston's Old Peculiar or something like that.
Really? What, 6 pints or something like that?
And in fact, I'm trying. I think it was to be their press officer or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And I just remember getting back on the train from St Albans. I completely, off my face.
In a disgraceful state.
Didn't get the job.
No, it doesn't surprise me. Listen to the way the milk industry's going, because that's what we started talking about, okay?
Yeah.
Orange juice is now 3 times more expensive than milk.
Orange juice is really expensive.
Is it? Why is that then?
Well, I don't know why, but presumably because oranges have become more expensive.
Right.
Maybe the orange crop. Do you remember Trading Places?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
The orange juice futures. Maybe the crop's not been good in Florida or something.
Right. The top 5 lager brands are almost 5 times as expensive as milk.
5 times as expensive. More expensive.
Used to be twice the price of milk.
Okay,
They're now 5 times more expensive,
okay?
Right. Most retailers insist that they are paying for the reduction in the price of milk by cutting their profits, and farmers have to receive a guaranteed price.
Well, maybe you just have to drink less milk. I mean, do you drink a lot of milk?
I like milk.
Well, you drink milk on its own?
No, I drink it in my tea.
Yeah, but you have to drink a lot of tea to drink a pint of milk.
I found a new cereal, actually, which is very, very nice.
Oh, yeah? What kind?
It's frosted shreddies. No, they're great, honestly.
They're aimed at, like, 7-year-olds.
What? No, they're not.
You remember how much sugar? There'll be about 50 grams of sugar in every mouthful.
I like them. And I don't know why you laugh.
You might as well just mainline a bag of sugar. Just pour it into your face.
No.
There's so much sugar in that.
No, there's
Frosted shreddies.
The shreddies without the frost on them are sugar-free. To be honest,
they're sugar-free.
Yeah, but all you end up doing is spraying them with sugar, don't you, or covering them with sugar with a spoon? Yes, you do.
You've got a most ridiculously sweet tooth.
No, I like Weetabix with a lot of sugar on them as well. They're very nice.
You like what?
Weetabix with a lot of sugar on them.
No, you shouldn't put sugar on them.
And anyway, I always slice up a banana and put banana in with my frosted shreddies, so that nullifies the sugar, because there's loads of sodium in bananas. Sodium's good for you.
Look at the light!
Yeah. What are you laughing at?
Look at the light.
Look at the light!
Look at the light.
Every time I get into an interesting subject, you just want to break off and do something else.
No, it's not me that has to break off and do something else. It's the commercial nature of the station.
Look at the light.
Work. Look at the light and calm down. You've obviously had too much sugar.
You're going to say anything useful during this show tonight?
You've had too much sugar, obviously.
What?
This is Talk Sport.
Dick-a-dum-dum, a dick-a-dum-dum. A dick-a-dum-dum, a dick-a-dum-dum. A dick-a-dum-dum, a dick-a-dum-dum. A dick-a-dum-dum, a dick-a-dum-dum. I gotta go to Piccadilly, gotta Piccadilly of a day to do it on. Get a moving on.
Now, this must sound a very familiar ditty to you.
No, it's not, but I take it that's Des O'Connor.
It is Des O'Connor.
Yeah,
Why do you take it that's Des O'Connor? This is one of his famous songs.
Well, to be honest...
Dick-a-dum-dum.
Dick-a-dum-dum. I've never heard that before. I thought he sung like a few covers of romantic ballads and all that kind of stuff.
But he did all kinds of stuff.
But don't you think he's a remarkable man at 83?
He is, actually, yeah.
I mean, he's 83, he looks 63,
he
if
does,
that, looks 53.
He's been married a few times, hasn't he?
He gets married to, I think, as his marriages have increased in number, I think his brides have got younger.
They get younger and younger,
so to speak. Or not, maybe not younger than the previous one, but certainly the age gap between him and his bride suddenly increases.
Sure.
And good luck to him, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, the guy wants to keep himself in great shape. He wants to appear to be young. I think he's got a fantastic attitude to life. And I get really fed up with people who have a go at Des O'Connor.
Well, it's become kind of a joke, hasn't it? That they used to, I mean, like Morecambe and Wise
if we were all as successful as Des O'Connor, we'd have a more successful country.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's quite kind of self-deprecating about people making fun of him as well, because people have been doing it for years. I mean, was it not Morecambe and Wise that started it?
Yeah.
And they just used to, relentlessly
take the mickey out of him.
But in the end, he was on their show and everybody was all fun. You know?
Yeah. No, but
he still plays golf, I think, doesn't he? 83.
Oh, I don't know. Does he?
Yeah, I remember I used to see him at the odd sort of, one of these pro-am celebrity tournaments.
That's quite something, because I'm thinking, 83. I mean, that's nearly another 30 years on for me.
Yeah.
Will I be able to stagger around a golf course
20,
in those days? No. Don't be ridiculous. You
weren't very good at golf to begin with. I mean, he's a proper golfer. He plays every week.
That's a bit harsh.
I know you're not a proper golfer. We've had this conversation before. I was a proper golfer. I used to play golf all the time and I had a proper handicap. You would just kind of roll up every now and again and slash away at the ball without any great effect.
Well, but I had master clubs. My Callaway.
Well, it doesn't matter what sort of. Well, it doesn't matter how many clubs you had. You played with Ian Poulter. I mean, you did a lot of great things. But it doesn't make you a good golfer.
Played with Poulter. You're absolutely right. Thanks for reminding us of that.
Yeah.
But I get fed up with people who have a go at Des O'Connor because I think that, when you're a success, you're always a target. I mean, I have this problem, Mike.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You're always a target for the ne'er-do-sayers, ne'er-do-gooders, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, who want to point at
ne'er-do-wells.
And say, what do you know about it and all that kind of stuff. And, it's hard. You have to take it. You have to take the blows. And you just keep coming back and keep doing it. So anybody who's having a go at Des O'Connor, in my mind, is small-minded, narrow-minded and a creep.
Yeah, how about this from Gaz in Leeds? He says, karate isn't a form of kung fu, you idiot Parry. You're a complete and utter fool. No doubt you will say you've been cheated in the quiz again when you are clearly a very stupid man. That's a bit harsh from Gaz in Leeds. Here's a better one from David.
So what is it then, according to this brain of Britain?
Well, he hasn't said.
No, well, exactly. So all he does is send an insulting message
Well, there's lots of different martial
arts. Kung fu
is
not karate. Karate is not kung fu. Well, I know that.
I studied karate, actually. When I was my first year at university, I did karate for a whole year.
Did you?
Yeah.
What, with a little white suit on?
Yeah, I had the white suit and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
And ha!
Yeah.
Ho,
well, the thing that I didn't really like about it was that you had to lie on your back, right, and you had to raise your legs off the ground so that they would strengthen your stomach muscles, right? And when you would, and of course I was a lot fitter in those days, but while you were doing that, the guy who was the instructor
jump on your belly.
Would basically run across everybody's belly.
Blimey.
It was a bit sort of...
Name me some karate moves,
Oh, I can't remember it.
Of course you can.
I was talking about when I was 18.
Yeah, a mate of mine did it, and he used to come... I used to meet him after his karate classes.
I used to say, all the time.
And he used to say, I did a great Kaiwan-do tonight, or something like that,
Zen Kutsadachi comes into my head for some reason, I don't know why.
Or Akuna, Akuna. And then he'd push 3 fingers out and stop them with an inch of my face and all that kind of stuff. He reckons that, when you became professional at karate, you were invincible.
Yeah.
Nobody could touch you.
Well, they could shoot you, couldn't they?
Well, yeah, I suppose they could.
It's a bit like that great scene in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy has the sword and he just pulls a gun out and shoots you.
But if you were in a nightclub having a row about a woman or something like that, then if you were a black belt in karate, you felt actually quite confident that you could see off any trouble.
But you didn't do karate, did you?
No, I didn't, but my mate did. He was a black belt, I think.
Oh, was he? Yeah, I never got that far.
Yeah, and he was always, giving it the old, ha, hey, ha.
Yeah.
Hey. And that kind of stuff, yeah.
How about this one from David in Clerkenwell? If they ever get round to filming a reenactment of Edmund Hillary's ascent of Mount Everest, please tell Porky to keep well away from the auditions for the part of Sherpa Tensing.
No, absolutely.
Chris Bonington must be peeing himself laughing.
What do you mean? It wasn't my fault.
About your ascent of the Rome hill.
Yeah, well, they say Rome was built on 7 hills, don't they?
Yeah,
well, I
not 7 cliffs.
I fell down one of them.
Yeah, well, not 7 cliffs.
One of them.
It wasn't built on 7 cliffs.
Well, if it's a hill has a cliff on the edge, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Of course it does.
Absolutely not.
How can a hill not have a cliff on the edge of it? Of course it does. Doesn't. It's not made of fresh air. It's made of rock and soil and everything else. I genuinely fell down one of Rome's 7 hills trying to get to the Champions League final.
There's not a cliff at Tower Hill, is there?
Well, no, but that's because that dates from the time when
Lavender Hill, even.
No, it dates from the time when they built the Tower of London, and the reason Tower Hill.
When do you think Rome dates back, Tom?
What are you on about? What are you talking about?
What do you think they built Rome? It wasn't built in a day,
No, they built Rome when old Julius Caesar was around, and in those days,
right.
Well,
that was longer
Romulus
ago.
And Remus.
Well, that was longer ago than they built the Tower of London.
What's the name of the river called in Rome?
Hey, the Tiber.
Tiber, that's right. Yeah, but there's 2 rivers in Rome.
Is there?
There's the
Euphrates.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, well, you didn't know that.
I just gave you the answer.
And I was just about to tell you, Tower Hill was named Tower Hill.
Right.
Because
It was named after the station, was it?
No, you fool. Years ago.
What about Tower Gateway?
No, years ago when they built the Tower of London.
Yeah.
All the rocks and things they removed for the foundations were piled up on the other side of the street, and that was Tower Hill.
Oh, right.
See?
Well, it wasn't a cliff then.
No, of course it wasn't a cliff, you fool.
Well, you just said every hill's got a cliff on it.
Yeah, but cliffs are natural. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they are,
if you've got for instance, if you go into the Cheviot Hills in this country, you'll find plenty of cliffs.
Really?
Okay.
You think there's cliffs in the Cheviot Hills?
Of course there are. Of course there are.
Very much doubt it.
Well,
now,
if you go to Cheltenham Racecourse.
The Mendip Hills.
No, Cheltenham Racecourse, right? That's in, what's the...
Gloucestershire.
What's the Cotswolds?
Yeah.
Well, have you
There's
never...
no cliffs in the Cotswolds.
Have you never seen Cleve Prior?
Hey?
Cleve Prior?
No.
You have seen Cleve Prior, because we went to Cheltenham this year and joined Andy and Paul in their show.
Yeah, well, what's Cleve Prior?
Cleve Prior's the hill on the other side of the racetrack.
It's a hill, yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a massive cliff on one side.
Rubbish.
Of course it has.
Absolutely.
Of course it has. You don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
You must have been hallucinating by that stage.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't have enough sleep. Sarah Jane has tweeted us at Mike Perrier at IROMG. I work for Dairy Crest and we have been sold to Muller, meaning there will only be 2 major players helping to raise prices.
2 major players
Presumably,
helping?
in terms of milk production companies, I guess she's talking about.
What do they want to raise prices for? Surely
they want to raise prices.
The consumers keep prices down.
Well, you've just been telling us that the prices have been dropping so low that the farmers can't make any money.
Well, that's right, they can't. No, they can't.
So that's why the prices have to go up then?
Well, to save the milk industry, except that what will probably happen is that we'll start importing milk, because that's what we do around here, isn't it?
Right.
When things, become...
or you could just have
uneconomic. We get them in from abroad.
You could just have ridiculously sugary breakfast cereal with what's it called, carnation.
Didn't
milk.
you always find that milk in America tasted funny?
Terrible. Doesn't have any taste. Well, funny enough, my daughter, who obviously just come back to live over here, says that, generally speaking, apart from like restaurant food, the food that you buy in a grocery store in America, it doesn't taste really of anything. The cheese doesn't taste as good. The ham doesn't taste as good.
Right. Why is that?
The milk, because it's all become, very homogenised, if you like. Yeah. And they do this thing. They have this 2% milk, the red milk, which actually tastes weaker than water.
Yeah,
horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Now, a couple of corrections here for you.
Yeah.
One from Rye, who says, Mike, Frosties without the frost are known as cornflakes. That's the first point. And the second one is...
No, I didn't say they were frosted. I said they were frosted shreddies.
Robert says, bananas are full of potassium, not sodium, Porky, you pillock.
Well, same thing.
It's not the same thing. Sodium is salt.
Same sort of thing.
But that's the other thing. All these cereals that you eat basically have far too much salt in them and far too much sugar in them.
I know that.
What you should do, which would be much more helpful and healthy for your heart, is eat porridge. Porridge doesn't have anything in it.
Yes, you say that.
You're not listening, are you?
I am.
Porridge. Just have porridge oats. Just get ordinary porridge oats. And if you want to put a bit of honey or something in it, a bit of fruit, that's much better.
I like a banana in it. Now, I've just got the up-to-date report
sodium
brought in by our producer, right? Listen to this. More than 1,000 farmers were not paid for their milk yesterday after a crash in prices plunged the industry into crisis.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a lot of that's two crises in the intro, isn't it?
No, prices. A crash in prices plunged the industry into crisis, OK?
Yeah.
Prices and crisis,
oh,
OK? The biggest dairy cooperative, First Milk, delayed payments to its 1,300 farmer members by a fortnight and cut the price it pays them. Campaigners have warned it is the worst crisis the industry has ever... What are you laughing at?
You're not reading out the Daily Mail, are you?
No. It's the worst
crisis. The ones that say there's always a crisis every 5 minutes in the Daily Mail.
No. This is a report. This is an official report. Campaigners warned it was the worst crisis the industry has ever seen. No sign of matters improving. Global milk prices have plummeted in recent months, meaning some British farmers now receive as little as 11.4p a pint, which is 20p a litre, well below the average 15.9p a pint, 20p per litre, it costs to produce it. Just a year ago, farmers would expect to receive 19.2 a pint. So it is literally a collapsing industry. I don't know where it's all going to end.
Well, a guy called Dave the Milk has just sent us a picture of his milk float with a load of milk on it, saying there's no shortage of milk here.
Yeah, OK, but who's he going to flog it to and for what price?
Well, he's going to flog it to all the people that have already ordered it, presumably.
Yes.
A milk float. Now, how about this? This is from...
But he's already bought the milk at a costlier price, you see.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, he has.
He's tweeting it in a good humour. He doesn't seem like a man who's on the brink of crisis.
Right,
now,
OK.
Here's one from Woodenhead, who's picked up one of your best-selling book. He's picked up one of the reviews of it on Amazon, right? And this is the format in paperback of a lot of Bubbly in Brazil. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
This is a tedious, repetitive book. Apart from a couple of chapters from his playing days and his time at Celtic, this is a pretty bland effort. There is a limit on describing how many times you've drunk champagne with Porky and the hilarious anecdotes that then follow. At times, it's a bit like listening to David Brent's admiration for Finchy.
Really? Well, that's a ridiculous... I mean, who's this guy sent that in? Woodenhead?
Woodenhead, yeah.
Right, OK,
one of
Woodenhead.
our regular tweeters.
He seems to have a very appropriate nickname, and wherever you got that review from, I can assure you...
It's on Amazon.
But no, somebody sent it into Amazon, obviously, so it's come from some
somebody who's read the book.
It's come from some half-bake who doesn't appreciate the colour, the diversity, the appreciation of the English language.
How many copies did it sell?
Which was put into that book. Over 100,000.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Bantam Bouncer.
So they can't all have been wrong, can they?
No, they can't.
No,
Bantam
exactly.
Bouncer has got some bad news for you. He says, tell Porky he's been ripped off. Shoulder of lamb is the cheapest cut. You can get a shoulder of lamb for $5.99.
Rubbish. That'd be a very small shoulder.
Well, maybe it will be a small shoulder. You don't even know how big it's going to be, do you?
Well, it'd be normal shoulder.
Normal shoulder of lamb.
£6. That to me represents great value.
Yeah,
great value.
Penny more than you would have paid for it in one of the more frequently used supermarkets.
Oh, how funny is that? Listen, I want to tell you a bit later on in the show about the weight problem this country is increasingly.
We've got to talk about West Ham Everton as well because you're going to that.
West Ham Everton.
That's a live TalkSport commentary game tonight.
Live TalkSport commentary. Go now with Mr. Brazil.
Oh yeah,
guest in a box there to.
And then you're going to be in doing the paper review, aren't you?
Doing the paper review the following morning.
Will you
no
be able
problem.
to have enough sleep for that?
Of course I will. Of course I will. I discipline myself, you know,
Yes.
and I relate to pressure.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be pressure coming up later on this hour as well, because the winners and losers competition is coming up, and a very hard-fought one it is as well. This is TalkSport Extra Time. We are the Two Mics. There will, of course, be a podcast coming out later on. We'll put the link out at the Two Mics. So if you follow that, you'll also see where you can go and buy tickets if you want to come to the Birmingham show as well. And we're supposed to be doing another show in London at some point soon, but we haven't quite worked that out yet.
No, we haven't quite worked out the location, but it's being worked on. Don't worry.
Here's a good question from Adrian, who says, wonder how many oil mines there are under cabbage production plants.
Oh, how amusing is that?
Now, let's be serious for a moment. I want to talk to you about Roy Hodgson. Well, I'm very worried about Roy Hodgson. I don't know whether you saw earlier in the evening that his picks were revealed for the Ballon d'Or, and he didn't pick either Ronaldo or Messi, and instead he went for these three: Javier Mascherano, Philipp Lahm, and Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, I know. And somebody said earlier, I was listening to somebody, I can't remember who it was, said, well, that's because he's so defensively minded. He goes for a defensive midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a holding midfield player, you know. No, I thought, well, it's a bit odd. I don't quite understand.
I mean, most of them had a reason. I mean, for example, Joachim Löw didn't pick them either because he picked all German players. You can understand that. Yeah. But, I mean, if you imagine Roy Hodgson picking an England player, that would be one thing. But he doesn't. He picks Mascherano as his number one.
I thought it was very, very odd indeed. And the problem is, it's all very well him saying, well, you know, that's my choice. I want to be individual about it and all that. But then other people read into how, you know... That's the word I'm looking for. How out of touch Roy Hodgson might be if he thinks that those three players are the best three players in the world.
More to the point, surely, that he doesn't think either Ronaldo or Lionel Messi are worth including.
By the way, talking about that, of course, because Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or.
What was that thing he did at the end? That kind of...
Whoa! No, it was a roar like that, wasn't it?
What was that?
I think he just wanted everybody to know he was there and I'm the lion in the jungle or something like that. You know what I mean?
Last time he won it, was it last year? He brought his little kid up with him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Well, his little kid's called Ronaldo after him. No, it's not. What's he called? Cristiano. Cristiano.
Is he?
Of course he's called Ronaldo. That's his surname. No, Cristiano, that's right. What I was going to say to you was, now, this... did you keep in touch with this... stop laughing.
Sorry.
Did you keep in touch with this issue about the Real Madrid fans booing Gareth Bale?
No.
Oh, it's utterly remarkable.
Is it? Go, tell me.
Well, they won 3-0, right? And Gareth Bale's put the pass through for the first goal to Ronaldo, a 40-yard pass, right?
Right.
He then scores the second with a typical Bale free kick, right? Then, later on in the game, about 3 minutes to go, Bale's burning down the wing on the right, and he goes for goal himself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I do remember something about this. Yeah.
And Ronaldo standing in the penalty area unmarked and wanted the ball and gave one of those completely, exasperated expressions. Yeah. Why didn't you pass to me? Yeah. The crowd then start booing Gale, and and catcalling him and pointing at him, and like he's just missed an open goal, or like he's just given a goal away, or like he's a pathetic player and not the man of the match, which he was.
Right. And they can turn, I suppose, quite quickly, Real Madrid fans, can't they?
But you see, it's so unjust, but I can understand exactly what it's all about, Mike, because you have experienced this very studio. When you're talking too much and the audience actually want to hear me, not you.
No, well, I haven't actually experienced them booing. No, because let me tell you something about radio. Yeah. You can't actually hear what they're saying.
No, I know.
Unless they're on the phone.
No, but because of modern social media, you very, very quickly get the impression, get the feeling, get the instruction, get the direction from the audience that they'd like you to shut your fat mouth and
I have to say, the only tweets...
And let the Portmeister give you a bit more of the wisdom which he's renowned for. That's the feeling the listeners have.
The only tweets I ever get are when is he going to shut up and when is he going to stop interrupting you?
No, that's not true at all.
It's called the two mics, as I've said to you many times before. Yeah. It is absolutely not the one mic, and I can sort of speak whenever I can.
No. I'm not saying that at all, mate. What I'm saying is that, let's be absolutely honest about it. You don't actually impart as much knowledge into the proceedings
that's true.
As I do.
But most of the knowledge
because I'm very well read.
Yeah, but most of the knowledge you impart is actually not correct. No. Now, I've got a couple of pieces of information for you.
Yep.
One says that Cleve Prior is in fact a cliff. Cleve does mean cliff. However, I've got a tweet from Phil who says, I'm from Cheltenham and Cleve Hill has no cliffs. Tell Porky to stop looking through rose-tinted wine goblets.
Well, why is it called cliff then?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
But if there's no cliff there...
It's called cliff because it's a cliff. So Cleve is the Old English word for cliff, right?
Cliff Richard called Cliff. You might as well ask the same question. He's not a cliff either, but he is in some ways.
Ridiculous question.
And then James says, Parry fell down a mud hill, very clearly.
I didn't fall down a mud hill, I fell down a cliff. Believe me, and it's very painful. And there was a witness to it anyway, a witness who works in this building.
Well, so I have to ask it up here.
That would suffer that. Now listen,
I want to talk about Everton as well tonight. You're going to this Everton game. A reasonable result of the weekend.
Oh, well, it's a very good result, wasn't it? To draw 1-1 with Manchester City.
Well, was it, though?
To hold them back. Yeah, of course it was. Of course it was. I mean, I think we've hit a turning point now. Drew with West Ham in the Cup and replay, obviously, tomorrow night.
Now somebody's obviously... So you've done this deliberately, haven't you? Somebody has picked up on what you've just said. What? And Mark, who's obviously got his tongue firmly in his cheek, says, give Porky more airtime, he's brilliant.
Yeah, well, there you go.
This is what you do. No, this is what you do. Relentless populism is what you do.
No, it's not relentless populism. I'm just stating the facts. And what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how good you are in life, there's usually going to be somebody around who's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only point I'm making to you, Mike,
Yeah,
and
not in this room, though.
You just have to accept
By the way, I hope you enjoyed that cup of tea that David, the producer, just made for you. He tells me it's got £1.50 worth of milk in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
£1.50 worth of milk. Well, that would be about 2 gallons.
Yeah, it would actually.
On current day
I
prices.
think he's got his maths wrong.
22p a pint. That's 6 pints.
He didn't bring any cake in. I brought some cake in tonight. I thought you might like to try.
Good man. Okay.
Some peach sponge.
I don't like doing that when I'm working because I've told you before, it clogs up your.
It does, yeah.
Clogs up your glands.
But you've got something to say about obesity again tonight, haven't you?
Yeah, well, no, I'm going to get onto the obesity in a minute. What's those glands in your mouth called? The
saliva glands.
Saliva glands, yeah. And eating cake at this time of night in this sort of atmosphere clogs them up. I'm afraid you shouldn't do it.
Keeps your energy levels up, though.
Well, it may keep your energy levels up, but at what cost? Now, on the weight thing, right, what I have to tell you is that there are 2 new theories about how you keep the weight down, right? One of them, and I've told you about this before, I've told you that if we ripped out all the central heating in everybody's house in this country, we would get rid of the obesity problem, OK?
You've told me this before, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, a report has just come out which said, actually, if you want to lose weight in January, don't wear a coat. Walk around without your overcoat on, and you won't freeze to death, but the cold will melt the pounds off you.
Well, my father,
it gets rid of body fat.
My father, funny enough, was a great believer in that. But not only because he wanted to remain slim, but also because he didn't like paying the heating bill.
Yeah.
So we never had central heating in our flat when I was growing up.
Yeah,
and it was absolutely freezing. I used to have to sleep with my hat on.
Yeah, well, I used to wake up with ice on the inside of the window because that's the sort of houses you had in those days.
Yeah.
We didn't have any central heating either.
You'd have one of those little fires, wouldn't you?
1 bar fire, but you used to set fire to the bed because it was the room which I slept was so small.
I set fire to one of my jumpers once because I was trying to dry it in front of the thing.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I short-circuited the fire once when...
Maybe that's...
I tried to... repair it with a safety pin, and it shorted.
Doesn't sound like a great idea.
No.
Well, somebody sent in a picture of the cliffs of death surrounding the Stadio Olimpico.
Right. And they're there, are they?
Well, not really, no. They look like quite gentle rolling hills.
No, they are, though. I told you the Rome was built on 7 hills, and I had to fall down one to get...
You said it was 8 hills.
No, 7 hills. And I had to fall down one to get to the Champions League game. Now, this thing, Mike, about walking around without your coat on in January...
Yeah.
This is a research paper from the University of California, OK? And there's a protein inside your body called ZFP516.
Yeah.
And it turns white fat into something that resembles brown fat. 90% of the fat in an adult's body is of the unhealthy variety. And
well, which one is which, though?
Well, if you turn it to brown, it's better.
Is it?
Better, yeah.
Oh, OK.
Has a big impact on you losing weight. It says... mice were genetically engineered to make large amounts of ZFP516 and they put on 30% less weight eating over a period of time, OK? And that's what it's all about. But that follows on another splendid idea which has come from researchers in this country, which says that people should be weighed once a year in much the same way as you go to the dentist. Now, you know that you get a card from your dentist about every 12 months saying, come for your regular checkup and all that. Well, people should go and get regularly weighed because you've got to monitor weight. Because,
well, people do have their cholesterol checked and all that, don't they?
Well, they should have their weight checked because, you know, the things I keep telling you about weight, which you dismiss, are all true.
I don't dismiss
bigger
anything
ambulances,
you say about weight.
Bigger
cinema seats,
slabs in morgues, bigger cinema seats,
bigger coffins.
Bigger coffins. It's all absolutely true. Reinforced suspension.
But maybe
in
an awful lot of it is down.
Cars.
Just to be serious, maybe an awful lot of it is down to the fact that people no longer live in such kind of basic conditions.
That's
you know,
right.
because when you and I grew up, we lived in very
true.
basic conditions. We didn't have loads of food to eat.
We
didn't have loads of central heating, and we didn't have cars in the same way. So we actually walked a lot more.
Can you believe?
I mean, I used to walk every morning about a mile to the station to go to school, and about a mile at the other end. So I'd walk 4 miles a day just going to school.
I used to go on my bike.
Yeah, well, I did that when I was a bit older.
Yeah, I used to go on my bike and cycle right across Chester. It was very dangerous. I wouldn't dare do it these days.
I used to cycle when I first went to like college in London. I used to cycle from Hampstead down to Shoreditch every single day.
How did you get back?
The same way.
It's uphill though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is uphill, yeah.
Well, that was a bit of a stretch.
Well, I was young and it was a 10-speed bike, you know, it was fine.
Good God, I can't imagine you on a bike, honestly. No, I can't.
I tried to get on one, actually, when I was in America, not that long ago, and it was a bad idea, very bad idea.
Do your children get weighed at school?
No.
They're supposed to.
Really?
When they start school, they're supposed to get weighed.
I don't think so.
And they're supposed to be weighed every year.
Sounds like a bit of an invasion of their human rights,
I used to get weighed at school.
I'm not surprised.
And don't you remember those old-fashioned scales where there were 2 like iron rods or something?
Oh yeah, and they moved the thing across,
and all that kind of stuff. You know, now they don't do that anymore. And because
they also used to put the nick comb through your hair, and they also used to give you polio boosters and all that kind of thing, right?
We never had a nick comb.
Didn't you?
Not at my school.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't have people with nits.
Yeah, everybody has nits in school.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
What does a nit look like, by the way? I mean, that's a daft question, but what does it look like?
Just like a little kind of mosquito type thing with kind of legs and teeth.
Where do they come from? I'm serious. Where do nits come from?
They just exist. Where do they come from?
Well, how do people get them?
Well, actually, you get them because you've got very clean hair now. You don't get them because you're dirty. You just get them because you've got very clean hair.
I've never had nits in my life. Have you?
I think I got them once off one of the kids, yeah.
Look at the light!
Good God.
Look at the time.
What happens then?
Look at the time. Well, you just have to take them out with a nick comb.
Yeah, but then how do you stop them coming back?
You can kill them, actually. You can kill them with hair straighteners. Put hair straighteners in your hair. And that does it.
Burn them to death, you mean? What, you burn them into your hair?
Yeah.
God, if I found I had nits, I'd have all my hair shaved off. then I'd have my head disinfected, and I'd be very worried. I mean, that is a horrendous...
Well, then maybe you'd be able to keep better time. This is the two mics. This is Talk Sport. Lots more to come.
Yeah.
This is Talk Sport Extra Time. We are the two mics. Your relentless drive for people to sort of tweet things in that praise you has worked terribly well, I'm sorry to say. Here's another one from Powie, the Bristol Gooner, who says, Porky, your book, There's an Awful Lot of Bubbly in Brazil, is without doubt the best book I've ever read. It's hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you think he's not
indeed.
making fun of you?
No, he's not making fun of me at all. That is a completely and utterly accurate description of what most people thought of it.
And here's one from Steve, who says, we always used to get nits in school. Hasn't Porky heard of the nit nurse?
No, I haven't.
You never had that? They had like a metal comb, and they had this kind of glass with some horrible liquid in it, which was like a disinfectant.
No.
And I did it in my secondary school.
No,
I seem to remember.
No.
And you'd all line up, and you'd sort of they'd comb through your hair to see if, because they are. I mean, but the trouble is they're now more in existence than ever before.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because they actually thrive in kind of cleaner hair, and people are cleaner and everything than they used to be. You know?
God. No, I wouldn't want any of that, mate. Never came across anything like that, but I was probably just lucky, you know.
Yeah, well, people say that about you.
Sorry?
People do say that
What
about
do you mean?
You've just been lucky.
No. You make your own luck in life. What was it Gary Player said? And the funny thing is...
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
No, the harder I practiced, the luckier I got. Yeah. I met him once, you know.
Did you?
And...
he had huge feet, didn't he? Did you not notice that? Yeah, one of the reasons he was such a good golfer was because he had really big feet for a guy, because he wasn't very tall.
He walks around with a piece of bacon in his pocket.
Does he?
Yeah, wrapped up in a bit of cling film.
Biltang?
No. He doesn't eat it. No, and what happens is when you...
He doesn't eat it?
No, he doesn't eat it, no.
Well, how long does he keep it in there for?
Well, he has a new one every day, I think. And
really?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And when you sit down with him, the first thing he tells you is that he's wearing the same pair of trousers that he wore 40 years ago, right? And you sort of think like,
but doesn't that mean isn't he just using sort of poetic license to say that he's the same size?
Absolutely.
It's not actually the same trousers.
Absolutely. That's exactly what he's saying. You know, that my waist measurement hasn't changed in 40 years.
Right.
And then the second thing he does is, what do you want to drink? And if you order anything mildly alcoholic, he's very disapproving.
Oh, really?
You know? Oh, yeah, very disapproving.
Well, he wouldn't have liked you, though, would he?
Well, I mean, I on the ground till I was a foreigner, I thought, well...
Did you meet him in South Africa, though?
Yeah, in South Africa,
okay.
yeah.
Well, when you were there for the World Cup?
It was pre-World Cup. I think we went for the World Cup draw or something.
Right.
And, but then he always has a glass of water. That's apparently, I think that's all he drinks. But then he has 2 glasses of water, the one that he's drinking, but the other glass of water, he pulls out the bacon slice and he puts it in the glass of water.
Why?
Well, he says, watch what happens to that water in the next 3 or 4 minutes. And then all the fat comes out of the bacon into the water.
Okay.
So the water starts turning into, like, fatty substance, if you see what I mean. And this is to illustrate to you the damage you're doing to your body by eating a bacon sandwich.
Oh, God.
And that's, those are all the impurities in it, and don't do it.
Sounds a bit hard line.
Well, he's very particular like that, you know what I mean? And you sort of look at it, and then you think about it for a minute, and then, I don't know, you sort of think, well,
that's all very well. Thanks very much indeed
exactly,
for your help.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about weddings, because you've uncovered a new practice, and just in case you ever do find the first...
I'm surprised you haven't heard of this.
Well, I haven't. In case you find the first Mrs. Parry, then, you can maybe take it up.
It's called the sand ceremony, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Sand.
Apparently this is very popular. It's coming over to this country. Now, what you do is you turn up at the the sort of the do's they have before a wedding. So not like the stag nights, but a sort of get-together or something like that.
No, like a wedding breakfast or something
Wedding
like that.
breakfast or something like that.
I don't think I had one of those.
No? You didn't have one? No. OK. But more for the women, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. So everybody goes along to the bride's wedding breakfast, right? But they take a file of sand with them. And then you pour this sand into it's like a receptacle of 2 sheets of glass, an inch apart. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And your line of sand lies on the bottom.
There's a line in the sand.
Yeah. And then somebody comes and pours their file of sand on top of that, and they're all different coloured sands.
Yeah.
And this is a bonding technique to bond you with your friends for life.
With your friends. So it's nothing to do with who you're marrying.
No. It's as I say, it's but apparently there's one place in this country. There's 42 different colours of sands. They've got a paint chart. You can actually go along and get whichever sand you want. I mean, isn't that mad?
That is mad, yeah.
And the other thing apparently is that more than ever now, and I thought you might have done this at your wedding in the United States.
Well, you were there.
Yeah, that's right. But your wife was rather eccentric in what she wanted for a wedding.
I don't think so.
Did you have an owl that flew up the aisle with the rings?
No.
Because that happens all the time now. An owl?
No.
And that happens all the time now. You've heard of this, haven't you?
I can't remember who brought the rings up, actually. Can you not remember?
Well, who was your best man?
Ivor Key.
Well, didn't he have them?
Well, I think he had them, but I don't think he walked up the aisle. They weren't brought up. Oh, actually, no, we had like a little... did we not have Dermot's son or daughter? Dermot's son and one of the Carney boys, I think.
I don't know, mate. It was your wedding.
Well, I can't remember it very well. Well, I can't remember it very well.
Because you were half cut.
No, I wasn't half cut. The great thing about the church wedding actually was the fact that we went to this church on Park Avenue.
Yeah.
And we weren't particularly religious, but she wanted to have a church wedding, so we went and saw this priest. He was French. Actually. Yeah. And he was great. And we said, look, the thing is, most of our friends and colleagues who are coming are not really very religious people. So we don't really want the whole mass. We just want... It was the quickest wedding you've ever seen in your life. We were in and out there in 10 minutes.
Is that right?
Because they didn't... I mean, we had a couple of readings. Well, of course you can't remember.
Yeah.
The one thing I do remember is you, because I've got a picture of you standing outside with a bottle of champagne.
But you haven't got the picture, have you? You've lost it.
No, I've still got it somewhere.
Well, you somewhere...
We put it up on the TalkSport website years ago.
It should be a treasured picture.
I haven't got any pictures from my marriage because they were all...
you've got that one.
They were all destroyed.
You've got that one, and you say...
She destroyed them all. I don't have any.
Well, I hope she didn't destroy that one, because that's my picture.
Well... No, you're in the picture, so it's not your picture.
And Mickey Brennan should have sent that back to the UK Press Gazette.
I've got no pictures of my wedding at all.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's
she
remarkable
destroyed,
or not.
No, when we split up, she destroyed them all.
Well, I suppose the wedding is now smashed
I
to
lost
pieces,
all my every picture I had of myself from the time before I left.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those either.
Well,
I don't have pictures of me in Bosnia, right, which was my sort of death-defying war correspondent period.
Yeah.
Don't have any of those either.
But I don't have much sympathy for you, Mike, because your infidelities is what destroyed your marriage.
That. The fact
No. What do you mean, never mind that? You can't get over that.
Well, you can.
It's your infidelities that destroyed the marriage, so it's no wonder nobody wants a record of it, because your behaviour was so disgraceful.
Well, I'd quite like a record of it.
No, really? Anyway, what do you want a record of? To remind you of how infidelious you were to your wife?
Infidelious is a word that doesn't exist. We had this conversation. Well, no, but I mean, the funny thing is you're talking about a very long time. I was married in 1987, right? How many years ago is that?
87, 97, 07... That's
nearly 28 years ago.
27 years ago.
Yeah, nearly 28 years. It'll be 28 years ago in October.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And basically, it's a very long time ago. So, I mean, I don't think we had anybody carrying the rings up the aisle. I don't know. Certainly wasn't any sand involved.
No, but that's what I mean. Or by the way, you keep on going on to me about looking to the light and all that. Do you realise that you might be onto something there about that... shocking mental affliction people suffer. Sad.
Seasonally affected disorder,
Yeah. What you're supposed to do is you are supposed to look into the light all the time.
Well, only in as much as...
And then you're the gloominess and the blues you feel at this time of the year, if you do, because I don't allow my mind to get depressed, is how you get over it.
Some people do. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. But it's nothing to do with ordinary light. You have to look into, like, sort of, a UV light, don't you? Ultraviolet. Like the UV, and I'm looking at the weather report here, right, for London, where it says cloudy. It's got all sorts of things. Visibility 16.1 kilometres. Precipitation 0. I don't know what weather report this is. Wind southwest 9 miles an hour. UV index 0. That means there is no ultraviolet light coming from the sun.
Well, at the moment?
Nothing at all.
Right, well, here, I've got a...
And that's not just because it's dark, either.
I've got good news for you. You can try what's called the Lumi Bright Spark.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
It's a box with light in it. It costs £115, and you use it for 30 minutes a day.
What are you supposed to do, look at it?
No, you punch it at your face for 30 minutes a day.
Well, is that one of these things you hold in front of you?
Yeah.
Look at the light!
It gives... I don't know why people are making jokes about this. I'm trying to help people with their mental problems. You know, is it a mental problem?
Well, no, it's more of a... It's a disorder. It's a
psychological problem, yeah.
Well, it's not a psychological problem because one of the reasons why people suffer from it is because they actually don't ingest enough ultraviolet light.
Well, what this does is it gives out 10,000 lux of white light, OK?
All right. So what does it say about its ultraviolet business?
Well, I think that is the lux bit, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know.
It makes you feel lethargic. During the day, you don't sleep well at night, you feel anxious and you start to overeat. So perhaps you've got it, Mike, because you're always overeating.
No, I'm not overeating
yes,
at all.
You are.
Anyway, it is time, as you say, to look into the light.
It affects your circadian rhythm.
Oh, really? Circadian rhythm, you mean?
Yeah, that's the one. And, and that regulates your internal body clock. Right?
Right.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's nothing to do with cicadas, is it?
What?
It's nothing to do with cicadas, is it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what circadium is, actually. I've never come across that word before.
Fine.
As I'm a student of the English language, it must be rare.
Isn't it Philip Green's holding company? No, that's Arcadian.
Yes, it is. Yes.
This is Talk Sport Extra Time. Coming up, it's time for winners and losers.
Baby, the losers, you're lucky sometimes. Even the losers, keep running pride. They get lucky sometimes.
It is that time of the week when we look back at the weekend's action and find out who is the big winner and who is the big loser. The game has taken a slight twist in recent weeks because Mr. Parry has been going up against Toby Gillies instead of me, and I will just sit here and judge who should have the best ideas of big winners and big losers. Toby...
There hasn't been much to judge, though, over the last few weeks, has there?
I mean, to be fair, Toby came very close last week and only really didn't win because he had some points taken away for dissent, I suppose you might say.
I have new tactics.
You've got new tactics.
I've got a new tactic for this week.
Right.
And I've promised that even if it works this week, I'm going to try a second new tactic next week.
OK, brilliant. Well, we're very glad to hear it. Well, in that case, since you look as if you've been giving it a lot of thought, I'll let you go first then with your losers of the week. Mr. Gillies.
OK, well, my first loser is without a shadow of a doubt Falcao. And that's because when you're supposedly one of the world's best strikers and you're trying to win a contract at one of the biggest clubs in the world who lose without registering a shot on target, and yet your manager still says he doesn't regret leaving you out, then quite frankly, you know that things aren't going for you.
True.
And this happened, of course,
although
when Manchester United lost to Southampton.
He may not quite worked out what Van Gaal has been saying about him afterwards, given that
well,
clip
that's
we
a
listened
possibility,
to
of course.
OK. Well,
so he's a definite loser in my book.
OK.
My next loser, and I think this might win, is England. England's football team.
OK.
Because I'm sure that you've heard by now who Roy Hodgson voted for.
We were talking about it just a moment ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know who his second and third were, just out of interest?
Yes, I do, yeah. Well, he's got Manuel Neuer as his third, hasn't he?
Manuel Neuer is his third, yes. Philippe Lahm second, and Javier Mascherano to win Ballon d'Or.
Well, I mean, in a way, I can understand him having those two. I can't imagine why he would put Mascherano first.
Well, do you know who the only other coach in the entire world football was that voted Javier Mascherano in first?
I know he was voted by a couple of other people, not necessarily in first.
Yes, not in first, but there was one other that voted.
Was it the coach of Malta, perchance?
The coach of Belarus, Andrei Zigmantovic. They don't score many goals either.
No.
So that tells you all about the types of people that love Javier Mascherano.
I can't understand why he would have done it.
It's because he's Roy Hodgson and he doesn't like attackers. Right. He likes miserable, boring defensive players, and that's just how England are. And my final loser this week is Ben Ainsley. Now, I don't know if you heard about this tale, but it's, for me, terrible PR when you're about to launch your own America's Cup team. If whilst on honeymoon...
He just got married, didn't he?
He did, yes. And whilst on honeymoon, with the beautiful Georgie Thompson, they went to Richard Branson's Necker Island.
Oh, yeah.
And they went for a little sail.
Porky's been there, I think.
Yeah,
have you been? Very nice?
Yeah, I've stayed there, yeah.
Nice?
They were actually sailing past it when they managed to ground the boat or beach the boat or something.
Absolutely. Ben Ainsley couldn't even go for a little sail around Richard Branson's Necker Island and get his missus home. It all went wrong, and Richard Branson himself proved himself to be a far more capable sailor than Ben Ainsley by coming to save them.
Oh, dear.
And I just think that's a bit of a disaster when you're about to launch an America's Cup team.
Maybe he was, otherwise occupied. He didn't have his hand on the tiller.
Judging by
That's a very crude thing to say.
Why is it crude?
Smutty.
It's not smutty. He
Judging
didn't have his hand on the tiller.
all reports, I think there was nothing of that kind.
Really? Well, those are three very interesting possibilities. Mr. Parry, over to you.
Right, OK, losers. Italian football fans, because in the next few weeks they might be getting Ravel Morrison, right, who's doing a deal to go to Lazio, and Balotelli, who might go to Napoli. I mean, can you imagine that? Imagine those two thrust upon you, OK?
That wouldn't be good. So, and Lazio's quite near that dangerous cliff in Rome as well, isn't it?
Well, it is in Rome. You're absolutely
I know
right.
It's in Rome,
yeah, absolutely
well,
right.
It might be near that dangerous cliff.
Now, the second one, who shouldn't be a loser, he should be a winner, but he is a loser by circumstance, is Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale getting booed by all the Real Madrid fans just because he wouldn't cross the ball to Ronaldo. After he'd already made the first goal for Ronaldo, scored the second with a free kick, but still came off the pitch being booed and assailed and verbally barracked by the fans. And the third one is not England at all, it is Roy Hodgson himself. Because what he's done now is he's once again put his credentials on the table, and people are saying, what kind of judgment is this? To talk about those three players, the best in the world, not one single attacking player, i.e., what is the philosophy of football that Roy Hodgson pursues? No, he's two defensive midfielders and a goalkeeper. Not good enough.
No, not good enough at all. Now, interesting that you should both focus on that. I was kind of leaning towards Ben Ainsley being the loser of the week after what Toby said, but since you've got common ground here, I'm going to give you a point each for England and Roy Hodgson.
Absolutely.
I think everybody would agree that those are definitely two losers of the week. Let's do the winners.
Everyone's a winner, baby, that's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy.
I'm slightly struggling to come to terms with the change in Toby's tactics here, because last week it was all about interruptions, and quite a lot of people gave you some abuse on Twitter after that, by the way.
That's right.
Did they?
So you were ruining the podcast.
I don't notice that his tactics have changed that much.
Well, he's not interrupting you, which he was doing constantly last week.
It's still
playing his cards very close to his chest.
I've had some coaching.
Have you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But there's still an element of brainery about you, to be honest.
Brainery.
Well, what can I say? That can never change, unfortunately.
No. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Since Toby went first on the losers, Mr. Parry, you could go first on the winners.
Definitely. Now, biggest winner, Sir Geoffrey Boycott, OK?
How?
Because he was turned down for a knighthood.
Yeah.
Because of a very, very ancient allegation of assault on a woman who was basically of dubious character. I know a lot about that case.
OK.
He's now come into the limelight, and Ed Miliband has said if he ever becomes Prime Minister, and who knows, that may happen, it may not, first thing he'll do is
we'll all be losers.
Geoffrey Boycott won't, because he'll make Geoffrey Boycott a knight.
Well, that's a very bad idea.
A knight of the realm.
Yeah, that's a very bad idea.
So Geoffrey's a winner. David Moyes is a winner. Because
he's a hypothetical winner.
David Moyes is a winner because Louis van Gaal has found himself under the spotlight because his record at this stage of the season is no better than David Moyes' was at this stage of last season.
True, but he is
despite
fourth,
the fact. Yeah, but despite the fact that David Moyes didn't spend £120 million,
True.
Louis van Gaal has spent. And the third winner has got to be Daniel Sturridge. If he can come back now into the Liverpool team, he's due back any day now or any game now, and turn their fortunes round, he's going to be a hero on Merseyside.
Well, I have to say, Toby, you've never had a bigger open goal than this one you're just about to face, because those are three winners, two of which are hypothetical, something might happen in the future.
They're not. No,
they are.
No,
Boycott might get a knighthood if Maliband gets in, and Daniel Sturridge might be a hero to Liverpool fans if he can be fit to play.
Well, he will be, but look, you've got to be Mike, you can't state the obvious in this competition. If you state the obvious, that's the pea-brainery that I've accused Toby of before.
All right, well, let's see what Mr. Gillies has got for winners. Come on, then. Let's hear your three.
I think I have less obvious. Lionel Messi is a winner this weekend.
Well, that is so obvious as to not be.
Well, he lost the Ballon d'Or.
Well, okay, if it's so obvious, tell me my reasoning.
It's so obvious because he has won it more times than Ronaldo, and that's been evidenced by.
Why are you sitting so far back from your mic? The producer's asking me.
He's won it 4 times. Ronaldo's only won it 3. Therefore, it becomes clearer and clearer who the greatest player of all time has been, is going to be.
Narrowed.
That's Messi. Well, the gap has narrowed, but it's
not
still
my reason.
It's still there.
It.
It's still there.
My reason
is it something to do with him being worth $500 million to another club?
No, it's not that either. Okay. My reason for it is that Messi proved this weekend that he is a cheat. and yet nobody has noticed.
Oh, right.
I don't know if you were watching Barcelona playing Atletico Madrid.
I've been watching some of the highlights, funnily enough, tonight.
He chose this weekend to prove he's a cheat by a deliberate, one of the most blatant handballs you can possibly see that the referee, for some bizarre reason, decided not to give in a build-up to a goal in a massive top-of-the-table La Liga clash, which Barcelona went on to win 3-1 against Atletico Madrid. And nobody's talking about it because he chose the Ballon d'Or weekend where everybody has to say how wonderful he is.
Right. I don't know if that makes him a winner, though.
Well, it does, because
we can't have cheats winning in this competition.
Yeah, he's not a winner. He's not a winner.
Was that
That's
an
not obvious
interruption?
at
Is that
all.
an interruption?
It was, yeah.
Paul Lambert is my next winner this weekend. Yes.
What's the second one?
Paul Lambert.
Paul Lambert?
The Aston Villa manager.
Blimey.
Yes. This is a manager
A winner?
whose side have seen just 13 goals scored in total for either team in their last 11 matches in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They failed to score, listen to this statistic, in 4 out of every 10 league games he's taken charge of since becoming Aston Villa
Shocking.
manager. And yet, for some reason, he's been given a vote of confidence by his club. He's being allowed to spend quite big money on a couple of players that are coming in this transfer window. Carles Gil, who'll be announced, we think, later today, and Scott Sinclair from Manchester City. Somehow, this man continues to cling on to one of the big jobs with one of the big clubs in England.
They lost again at the weekend
and
to
nobody
Leicester.
understands why. What? No wins in 6 in the league.
I know, that's incredible. Well, on your own rules for this game, you can't have a winner who's lost.
Exactly.
No,
What's
that's
your final
true.
one? You are now about to miss the biggest open goal.
Well, no,
you can
because
rescue it from the flames of defeat.
I think I'm going to win this
I'd
with this.
ban him.
Robert Sava. In anybody's book, not losing £20 million is a big win.
By not buying Rangers. But he wants to, though, doesn't he?
He wanted to buy Rangers for £20 million, but by a stroke of fortune
That's
for
a
himself,
negative reversal.
a
I can't qualify.
serendipitous moment in his life.
I take this by default.
He walked away after this bid was rejected. That club, he clearly can't have looked into this property properly. It's so messed up. He's got no idea how lucky he is. But in my book, if you save yourself 20 million quid, that makes you one of the biggest winners, even if you don't realise you've done it.
Well, if you don't want to, don't want to spend it, yes, but he does want to spend it. Now the problem is
But he
you had
can
a
now
massive,
spend
you
it on
have just
something else.
missed, you've missed this massive own goal, or rather not own
Fairly
goal,
obvious
but
who-
open
who
goal.
won that one.
With as much as Aston Villa haven't scored any goals, you've got 2 losers as winners and a cheat.
But you weren't impressed with either of Mike's
I
winners
wasn't,
either.
but I'm
No,
going to
no,
have to
no.
go with his because
Thank
David
you.
Moyes. I'm going to go. David Moyes is a winner because,
by the way, David
because his
Moyes
reputation is back.
Did beat Barcelona.
And he did beat Barcelona
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So I'm going to have to give it to Paul.
So
I mean, you had
my-
a massive chance of
My
winning.
coaching didn't work.
No,
No,
your
it didn't
coaching
work,
worked
mate. Don't know
because
who was coaching you. Some Jew said.
It
Yeah,
was
but
it was one of the bosses at Talk
You
Sport
need to
actually
get-
earlier on told me I needed to be more humble and stay quiet.
you need to get.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, whoever he is, he doesn't know everything about winners and losers. It has to be said.
I've got a
But you've got
new
another
tactic for next week.
All right, we'll look
Would you
forward
like
to
me
that.
to explain what
No,
it is?
no,
I'll
no.
tell you now because I'm not going to be here.
Oh, you're not going to be here.
No,
Oh,
I'm
that's-
not playing.
That's a good tactic.
All
Someone
right.
else is going to
Oh,
take
okay.
part.
Well, we'll see if they can challenge
Well, that'd be-
Porkmeister
That's
any
my
better.
next tactic.
That'd be
Don't
so-
phone up.
that'd
Well,
be
so what's
somebody
your
else.
what's your
I'll,
record now? 0-3.
That'll
4,
be
I
somebody
think.
else.
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
I'll leave on the back in the on the canvas in the ring. Don't worry about that.
Shocking state of
Yeah.
affairs.
Look at the light!
Look into the light. It is that time. Toby, thank you very much indeed. We've got more coming up on the 2 mics next.
Betty, you and I are not the same. You say you like the sun, I like the rain. But still before we go, do it all again. You better catch your own train.
This is TalkSport Extra Time. We are the 2 mics. There will be a podcast coming out, and Mr. Parry, of course, will be back for a 5-hour spectacular on Thursday night going into Friday morning. Somebody else has sent me another review of your book from Amazon.
Right.
Mike Parry's book. It's got 1 star out of 5, according to this reviewer.
Which book? Which book? Which
the-
of my many books I've had published?
Well, this is the one about there's an awful lot of bubbly in Brazil.
Oh, well, that was a bestseller, so I don't care what people say about that. The figures prove, after selling 100,000 copies, that it was a classic of all time sports book.
How about this? The question that needs to be asked is, why is this book written by Mike Parry, who just happens to be Brazil's boss? It reads like the Mike Parry version of Brazil's life, not his own. It's as if Parry wrote it and showed it to Brazil the day before it was published.
Well, it was a bit like that, actually.
I can imagine.
The problem is that Al's had a very active life over the last 25 or 30 years, so it wasn't always easy to.
Yeah, well, once again,
to delve into his
once
recollections.
Again, it's all about you, isn't it? According to because I mean, I've not read this book. I mean, at the live shows, I've tinkered with bits and pieces of it. Right?
Yes.
The first chapter is all about Brazil being fired by guess who? Yes, you've guessed it, Mike Parry.
Yeah, well,
and how can Parry be objective about one of his own employees? And then he says there is only so much you can read. You can take reading all about his freebies. Does he ever pay for anything? And getting drunk. Instead of criticising Brazil's huge alcohol intake, Parry just encourages it. It's all one big laugh.
No, it doesn't talk about Brazil's so-called huge alcohol intake, because there isn't a huge alcohol intake. I don't think there's one instance in the book when there's any suggestion that Mr. Brazil was inebriated, or indeed me.
And here's one from Scottish Bull, calls himself.
Yep.
Porky, your book is a modern classic, and Porky is a human encyclopedia, a fountain of knowledge, one of the great minds.
Thank you. That's what I like to hear.
I don't think he means that.
Of course he does.
Can't
I like to hear.
possibly mean that.
Now, listen, are you, after the show, tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
No, this morning. Are you shooting back down to the coast?
I'm not, actually, no.
Because, there could be 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground down your way by tonight.
Snow?
But blizzards are expected to blanket swathes of the country today with up to 4 inches of snow.
Yeah, but not southeast of England, surely.
Yeah, it's in the southeast. A deep Atlantic storm will batter Britain tonight. Fierce gales, lightning and bitterly cold temperatures expected in many parts. Snow is expected to fall over Scotland and northern England first, before spreading further south tomorrow.
So not coming anywhere near here, then? Well, according to my weather report here, it's not going to be anything below about 9 degrees. So even in your world of science and technology, you're not going to get snow if it's 9 degrees.
OK, the Met Office's chief meteorologist, I'm reading this off the screen, Paul Gunderson, said...
What screen?
This screen here in front of me, you fool.
The internal screen.
Yeah, the internal screen. A deep depression passing close to the north of
I
Scotland.
know how he feels.
Will pull cold air across northern parts of the UK as it passes, allowing the frequent showers near western coast. Rain may predominate. Increases the ice risk as road temperatures fall below zero.
So there's no risk of snow at all in the southeast of England. So we're talking rubbish.
Snow would move south tomorrow. This is right. This is Mr. Gunderson.
Yeah, move south from the North Pole.
Sounds as though it could be Scandinavian.
Maybe. Maybe he's giving a Scandinavian weather forecast.
Here,
that's where you get it wrong.
Right, snow would move south tomorrow, falling over progressively lower levels as far as southern England. So that's what I'm talking about, the South Downs where you live. Where snow does occur,
I don't live anywhere near the South Downs.
It is likely to be, yes you do, heavy and produce a covering quite quickly, OK?
Now, Toby says, I give in. He's just tweeted after losing one. I've never met such a bad loser in my life as Toby Gillies. Have you?
He's a whinger and a moaner.
Winners and losers is clearly fixed. I was the obvious winner this week. Do you know what somebody said about him on the weekend?
No.
Because he was on one of the shows at the weekend, and they said that somebody rang in from Liverpool, a caller, who said, do you know anything about football? It sounds like you should be commentating on the polo.
On the polo. That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Have you ever been to a polo match?
Have I been to a polo match? What, you mean on a field with horses?
Yeah, that's where they normally play polo.
Well, it's water polo, isn't it?
No, I didn't say water polo, did I? Have you ever been to a water polo match?
No, I haven't, no. I haven't been to either polos, no.
They don't use horses in the water polo version either.
Oh, really? How strange is that?
No, but I went to a polo match in Texas, funnily enough, because they play it a lot down there.
Yeah, they do, actually.
And I was there when Fergie was on, not Sir Alex Ferguson, the other Fergie, Duchess of York, was down there. And I went to this very weird scene, the whole polo business, because actually the field is very big.
Well, it's got to be, because all the horses are galloping around. Much bigger than a football field.
Much bigger than you think, yeah. You can't actually see the other side when they're on the other side.
Do you know what I find remarkable about that, Mike?
Right.
They're on the horses, galloping around, and the horses, go left, right, and back and forth. The horses obviously mash up the field upon which you play with horses' hooves. Yeah. But how on earth do they get a ball to run true on that field?
Well, it doesn't
and you only hit it with a mallet.
Well, because it's quite a big ball. And,
it's not that big at all. It's only the size of a baseball.
You just told me you hadn't been to a polo game.
But I've seen it played.
Well, you haven't seen it live, though, have you?
And in fact, you said...
That's like saying I've seen football played on television. You've never actually been to a match.
You talked about it happening in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Part of the plot of the later series of Dallas, and Dallas, of course, stars J.R. Ewing.
You're still watching that at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, by whom I largely rule my life by the values of J.R. Ewing. And
you're not a better loser after all the experience you've had.
That's great. Now
we should play that to Toby.
Talking about Cliff Barnes. Yeah, we should actually. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
The 0-4.
Yeah, and when Bobby's marriage breaks up to the beautiful
Victoria Principal.
Yeah. Most beautiful woman I think I've ever seen in my life, in the flesh, yeah.
Oh, you met her?
Yeah.
When did you meet her?
Oh, I don't know, some do in New York she was at.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And And what I was going to say
was this when she was at the height of her fame?
Oh, height of her fame.
Did you talk to her?
Absolutely. Not really. I kind of saw her. I think it was at another one of those dudes at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But anyway, point is, when their marriage broke up, she then takes up some guy called Mark, and this guy's...
This is all part of the fictitious soap drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he's a very handsome chap with a moustache and an old-fashioned car and a private aeroplane, and he's a construction tycoon. But he had his own polo field, and he had his own polo horses, strings of polo horses.
Strings of Peloponnese,
that's right.
And the honeymooners.
And it was, it was obvious that it was a huge part of, the hoi polloi society of Texas. Quite right.
Well, quite opposite, actually. The hoi polloi isn't...
It isn't, I know. It's a misused word, isn't it?
Yeah, the hoi polloi actually means the peasantry.
Yeah, that's right.
Or the common man that you so often claim to represent.
Yes.
By the way, you'll be very disappointed to know, knowing that you use buses in such wide
bus
numbers,
strike,
that there's a bus strike later
on
in
London. Bus strike in London. Can't believe it. What a day to have a bus strike.
So,
if it's going to be snowing
by the time you leave here, it will be underway, so you might find yourself getting held up, not least by the buses and the snow.
Well, yes, but I'm driving my car,
so
I'm not getting a bus home.
Oh, well, you were telling me about how often you take the bus.
No, I don't. I say that the bus is a great public facility, and I'm not too much of a snob to use a bus.
Have you seen, by the way, have you seen the nightmare now on the trains? I'm sorry to go on about it again, but it absolutely confirms that my decision to buy a car was the right one. Because London Bridge, which has now been the subject of being sort of reworked for the last 2 years, it was meant to kind of all reopen and be all brand spanking new. They've now got to the point where they're now not even stopping there, because the engineering works have been ongoing now for such a long time that at the weekend you couldn't go anywhere near, or you couldn't go from London Bridge or to London Bridge. All the trains have been diverted to Victoria. And somebody tweeted this morning, and I put it back out again, I retweeted it, a picture of Euston this morning. Apparently the East Coast Rail main line was knackered.
Really?
And it's just a complete and utter shambles, the rail network in this country. Buses on strike. I mean, it's back in the 70s again.
They sound like the people who are renovating my roof garden.
I would bet you,
I'd
bet you like a shoulder of lamb or something similar, that they will still be there in April.
Where?
At your house.
No, I hope not.
They will be.
This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Where have they put the tiles?
They're all piled up in the roof garden.
So they're all outside?
Yeah.
Well, that won't be doing them any good, will it?
Well, they have to be outside. They're going to be outside, aren't they? They're going to be on the floor eventually.
No, I know, but when they sit flat, though, right, at the moment they're probably sitting on their side, so they might all decompose.
No, they won't, I don't think. I hope not. They come from Italy. Old Robin Schönhofer
of TalkSport fame.
Of TalkSport fame. Is a constant tweeter on the train situation.
She goes up and down to Brighton.
To Brighton. I read in somewhere, either today or yesterday or something, there's one train that travels from Brighton to Victoria Station in London, which has not arrived on time for 12 months.
Oh, I saw that,
it's never made it on time in 12 months. So
that's incredible.
I would say that, if people think Robin's a bit fussy about the trains and all that, she seems to have a point, if that is a correct statistic, which we have every reason to believe it is.
All the people that we know who use that line are constantly moaning and groaning about it, because either you can't get on it, or it's cancelled, or it's not. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Exactly.
Absolutely horrendous.
Absolutely.
Now, here's another question for you, which we might have to develop coming up at the weekend.
Okay.
Because I've got a secret communication for you, which I'm going to tell you about on Thursday, from a guy who is a great admirer of yours and of our show.
Yes,
but he's with the Navy. He doesn't want his name to be given away, because he's down in Portsmouth, and he's offering to show us around the naval yards at some point.
Really?
Should we ever wish to go down there? But apparently they're closing some kind of sort of communal club down there for some of the people that are supposed to be able to use it, and they're shutting down, like, we're at the place where they all live and all that kind of stuff.
Well, let me tell you this, Mike. From the time I come off the M27 motorway and get down to the bottom of the peninsula, which is Gosport, right, I pass 11 former pubs which are closed.
Right.
They've either been converted into spa, sort of, fast food shopping type places, or into residential accommodation, or knocked down altogether and houses put in their place, or turned into estate agents or something, but they've just gone one by one. And that is a result of the reduction in the numbers of people who work in the defence industry.
Right.
And by the way, at Christmas, when you normally see a good half or two-thirds of the Royal Navy parked in Portsmouth, because they do actually come home for Christmas on the, somewhat bizarre belief that, wars don't happen at Christmas or something like that.
Right.
This year, there was one ship. There was one ship parked in Portsmouth Harbour, because this time last year, of course, we had 2 aircraft carriers. We had the Ark Royal and we had the Illustrious.
Yeah.
both gone.
I know, shocking.
And what has become of our Royal Navy is just a scandal, honestly.
Well, we will develop this coming
scandal.
up a little bit later on, because obviously he doesn't want us to identify him, but he just wants us to bring it to everybody's attention. So we'll be talking about it coming up on Thursday. Also on Thursday, we will having Porky Vision, of course. So
Porky Vision.
Make sure you keep your eyes on the television. Any other plans? I mean, what are you going to watch this week then? Aside from you're not going to watch Shogun again, because I mean that was a bit ridiculous, giving us a review of something that's like 40 years old.
No, I've had some appreciative comments about Shogun and people thanking me. I think we can just maybe hint at the fact that we might be talking about things we're going to do to give the audience a better service from the two mics.
Oh, right, what, in the new year?
Yeah,
why not?
What do you think?
Why not? We could do a bit of that as well.
Something that we're going to try and develop.
Okay, all right. Meantime, if you want to follow the two mics, you'll find out when the link is out there, of course, for the podcast. You'll see a little video that we've done for the Birmingham show, which is on March the 6th.
Yes.
Still a few tickets left, but there are not very many left, I have to say, so you need to be quick to get hold of some of those. We hopefully be announcing a show in London at some point. Very, very soon.
Yeah.
And I'll see you, I guess, on Thursday night.
See you on Thursday, mate. Yeah, the Birmingham thing, by the way, look, we're only letting you know it's going on because we know what's going to happen in the last 2 weeks for the show. People are going to be ringing up and saying, well, I can't have a ticket, and they're all going to have gone, I'm afraid. Yeah. So that's why we're trying to let everybody know right now.
Exactly. That was the Two Mics podcast.
Yes, it certainly was. Don't forget, it's out every Tuesday and every Friday morning on iTunes.
And you can follow us at the Two Mics.
So keep listening for more of MG's loose morals. Believe me, this boy hasn't got a moral fibre in his body.
And more of his bizarre buffoonery.
What? Have you ever fallen off a cliff? No, I mean.
Well, obviously, no. No, I've never fallen off a cliff.
Well, you
idiot.
could have done. You could have done.
Now, if I'd fallen off a cliff, I wouldn't be here, would I?